Welcome to rounds 2 and 3 of the activity portion of the Microworlds module. This is Exploring MicroWorlds EX. I picked this particular picture to represent the concept of exploring microworlds for two reasons. One was to remind you of the analogy that Seymour made that we tend to teach math in our schools the way that we teach a second language, a world language. And they're both sort of contrived and difficult and not very successful for most learners. But we know that if we could go to a country where that world language was spoken and be totally immersed in it, that we would learn the language. And if we had a math world where we could go and be totally immersed, where mathematics was the language that was spoken, that we would learn mathematics. And so this picture from a foreign country is to remind us of that opportunity to learn. And then also, it's just so mathematical and so beautiful. So that's why I picked this picture. In the last video, as you recall, you tried out 4 different commands that the turtle knew in the MicroWorlds EX software, and you accomplished this task of trying to figure out how big a turtle step is, how big the turns are, making a mess, and making at least one typing mistake. In this round, we are going to create a new blank page. You're going to make sure that the turtle's pen is down, and then your big goal is to make a drawing. We're going to call it a drawing, a piece of art that has 2 lines that are connected and that fit on the screen, no wrapping. And your goal is to use 4 lines of commands or fewer, and we're not going to count the PD command. Now I'm going to demonstrate what I mean by that, and then you'll pause the video, set your timer for 4 minutes, try it yourself. As soon as you accomplish it, you can start the video up again. It doesn't have to be 4 minutes. If you're not getting it to work, you might try backing up the video and looking at my demo. And if that doesn't help and the 4 minutes are up, stop, contact me. 4 minutes of frustration is plenty. So that's the goal right now. I'm going to bring back my microworlds. This is the mess that I left with at the end of round 1. And if you recall, our first goal was to create a new page. I don't want to disturb my beautiful art. So this icon with the folded corner represents creating a new page. Now, don't panic. My beautiful art did not go away. With these arrows, I can go back like flipping through the pages of a book. I can go back to the previous page. I can go forward to the next page. And this is a blank page. All of my writing from the first page is still here, my directions. I'm just going to go to the bottom of that and start typing new stuff, but I'm not going to start typing yet. Hope you remember the first thing you'll have to do is hatch a turtle. So I click on this icon, and wherever I point my finger on the stage and click, a turtle will show up there. So the goal this time is to create 2 connected lines in 4 lines of typing or less, not counting the first command, which is going to be PD for pin down. And now I'm going to put myself into that random childlike mode, and I'm going to try left 44 and forward 2, 3, 4, and left 44 and back 5, 6. There are my 2 lines. They're connected to each other, and I did it in 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of typing. That's all it is. So pause your video and try that on your own in MicroWorlds. Welcome back. Hopefully you were successful in your round 2 And now we're moving on to round 3. That's all it was for round 2. You're good. You're good. So here's round 3. We're going to build on what you did. All good art has a name. Sometimes the name of it is untitled, but usually there's a creative name that describes either the art itself or the mood that the artist was in when he or she created it or something. So you're going to think of a good name, and then you're going to teach your turtle how to draw your 2-line shape, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you're going to actually make the turtle do it. So let's see what on earth that means, because that's a weird set of goals. So here I have my beautiful art, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, what does that look like? That looks like the front of a ship. Do you see it? I think that looks like the front of a ship. So I want to call that art ship. And instead of having to type these 4 lines of typing, it would be so nice if I could just type the word ship and have it create that shape. Do you know what it's gonna do? Think about it. Make your prediction. When I push the return key, what's gonna happen? Here I go. Is that what you thought it was gonna do? If you made a typing mistake back in round 1, you have already experienced this. And one of the beautiful things about this concept is this is a message from the computer. It's not an error message. It's just a message. Error messages are what we get from a lot of other computer software. And error messages are like, you got it wrong. And they make you feel like the machine is smart and you're dumb. But if you think about it, computers are pretty dumb. They only know 2 things, on and off. That's it, on and off. And it's the series of on-off combinations, the signals like a Morse code, that make the machine do the things that it does. And it's all because of brilliant humans who understand programming that make that series of on-off signals do all of those amazing things. And so instead of getting an error message, in Logo we get a message. And the message is simply, I don't know how to ship. So we know our computer knows forward, back, right, left, pin down, but it doesn't know how to ship. And now we get into powerful ideas. Seymour calls this recipe writing. I'm going to come over here to the behind the scenes area. So it tells me I don't know how to ship. I'm going to teach it how to ship. So the word to, T-O, signals to the computer that you are writing a recipe. You're going to give it some directions to follow. And it's going to follow those directions, and hopefully it will cook up something really great. So how did I draw my ship? Not paying attention to the pin down, because I like to do that once. I put in these 4 commands. So I'm going to do that over here in the recipe writing area. This is a procedure. Left 44, forward 234, left 44, back 56. There's one more thing you have to do over here. When you are finished writing the recipe, when you get to the end, you have to tell the computer that this is the end. And so we're just going to type the word end at the end of the list of commands that are going to make a ship. That's all I have to do in the recipe writing area. Now, if I type the word ship, let's see what happens. Before I push the return key, I want you to picture in your mind, what do you think is going to happen? Make a little prediction. And now I'm going to push return. Is that what you predicted? It didn't draw the exact same ship in the exact same place. Why? How come I have this funny shape over here on the left when my other ship was over there on the right? Think about it. I wish that I could hear the answer that you're saying out loud to yourself. I hope you're saying something out loud to yourself. Think about it. So the ship is in a different place because the turtle was in a different place when it started. So I'm going to type ship again, predict. What do you think it's going to look like now? Ready? Go. And another ship. And another ship. Ooh, random is so good. If your 2 lines were perfectly straight, you're not going to have nearly as much fun as I'm having. This almost looks like a spirograph. Do you remember spirographs? And in fact, the turtle now knows forward, back, right, left, pin down, and ship. And I can use the word ship just like I can the other words. In fact, this very cool shape, wow, is its own piece of art. What would I call that? I think that looks like, I don't know, I'm going to call it a wheel. So I can do the same recipe writing. To wheel, ship, ship, ship. I don't have to repeat the whole left 34, forward 234 sequence of commands because I've already taught it that. And I can just keep reusing those words. So now let's see what happens. And actually, I'm going to introduce another command that it knows, and that is clear graphics. So I'm going to clear my very first ship and the subsequent ships and go back to a blank piece of paper. I could click create a new page, but I'm going to do it this way instead. And when it clears the graphics, it puts the turtle back in it. Well, not back. It puts the turtle in the center of the page. It's not back because that's not where I had started the turtle. I can drag the turtle to a different starting point if I want. I kind of like it center-ish. So now when I say wheel, it does all of those shifts. And I can do another wheel. Wow. And in fact, yes, to beauty is 4 wheels. With the word end at the end of the recipe. I'm going to clear the graphics, and now I'm going to say beauty. Ta-da! Isn't that a beauty? So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to allow you to try this out. Ready? Go. So your goals in round 3 are to think of a good name for your 2-lined art that you drew back in round 2. Teach your turtle how to draw that 2-lined art. You're going to write out the recipe over here saying 2, name of your art, and the steps that it takes. If you want to go further, you can. Here's the new command you might need, clear graphics, and I'm going to say have at it. When you finish, I want you to go back to this page and to your previous page, and I want you to take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of the mess you made from round 1, and then to capture rounds 2 and 3, take a screenshot that shows the art you created as well as the commands you used over here on the right to create it. So 2 screenshots when you're completely done. And you're going to turn those screenshots in on the Artifacts Wiki. And that's it. Be ready for a great discussion about microworlds when I see you next. Have fun!